Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating anomalies in modern sports history. We're looking at the 2026 rivalry between Jannik Sinner and Alexander Zverev. We're going to unpack the data, the tactics, and honestly, the psychological warfare between two of the absolute greatest tennis players on the planet. Okay, let's kick things off with just one massive, mind-boggling number, 10. Just let that number sink in for a second. In professional sports, especially at the absolute highest level, a streak of 10 is almost entirely unheard of. And that brings us to the ultimate question we're looking at today. How on earth does a reigning Grand Slam champion lose 10 times in a row to the exact same player? We're going to try to solve a genuine, tactical, and mental puzzle today, and figure out how an elite player like Zverev gets utterly paralyzed when facing just this one specific guy.
All right, Section 1, the Sinner problem.
Look, Alexander Zverev is no underdog. We all know he recently conquered his Grand Slam demons in Paris, winning the 2026 French Open. He's an elite baseliner, and he's finally playing with that heavy burden of trying to win his first major. Yet despite his incredible form, Sinner's complete dominance over him creates this wild sports paradox. I mean, a 4-11 win-loss ratio? Why does a literal world beater suddenly look so lost? Let's move to Section 2, the head-to-head shift. If we trace their history, we actually see a dramatic pivot. Back in 2020, Zverev establishes this early dominance with a big win at Roland Garros. Fast forward a bit to 2023, and Zverev extends his head-to-head advantage to 4-1 after a grueling 5-set win at the US Open. He was basically bullying the Italian. But then, a total paradigm shift. In 2024, Sinner transforms into this world-beating force and starts an unstoppable win streak. This complete reversal culminates in 2026, where Sinner seals his 10th consecutive victory over Zverev at the Wimbledon final. He went from losing 4 out of 5 to suddenly winning 10 straight matches. At one point, he dropped 17 straight sets. It's just wild. So what changed? Section 3, the tactical matchup. Honestly, it all comes down to a fundamental clash of styles. On one side, we have Jannik Sinner. His game is built on really fast-paced, on-the-rise ball striking and aggressive early returns that just neutralize massive serves. On the other side, you've got Alexander Zverev, who has a very wide, slow shot preparation, and he really prefers camping deep behind the baseline. This brutally exposes Zverev's preference to play from way back, because Sinner's incredible pace simply takes away all of Zverev's time to set up those wide swings. Zverev is constantly rushed, always on the back foot. According to expert community analysis, Sinner is one of the very rare players who can actually go toe-to-toe with Zverev's world-class backhand by taking the ball early on the rise. On top of that, Sinner reads Zverev's very high ball toss, which gives him that extra split second to neutralize the serve. Add in the fact that Zverev's forehand lacks power and reliable technique under pressure, and well, Sinner just ruthlessly exploits it. Sinner's sudden change of direction down the line completely forces Zverev out of his deep court comfort zone, turning a powerful giant into a purely reactive defender. And you can see this tactical advantage bleed right into the raw serving data. On paper, it's incredibly tight. Service games won. Sinner is at 94%, Zverev at 95%. First serve points won, Sinner takes 85%, Zverev takes 80%. But while these numbers prove how close they are theoretically, the reality on the court is that Sinner's return game completely suffocates Zverev's primary weapon. When they face each other, those reliable free points that Zverev desperately relies on just completely dry up. And while Sinner is neutralizing Zverev's serve, his own serve has become practically bulletproof. Just listen to what Novak Djokovic had to say about it. You cannot attack his first serve. You can try to read it, chip it, block it, get it back in play. He's just super solid. When your serve is being praised by literally the greatest returner in tennis history, you know it's formidable. Zverev simply cannot make a dent in Sinner's service games. Which brings us to Section 4, a heavy mental block. Because all of this introduces a phenomenon known as mental scar tissue. It's essentially the cumulative psychological weight and really the loss of self-belief that a competitor experiences after repeatedly failing to beat a specific opponent. Those tactical disadvantages we talked about, they inevitably breed a heavy mental block. As the losing streak stretches to 10, you can actually see Zverev's belief visibly drained the moment he steps on court with Sinner. Observers have noted his shoulders drop, his strategy becomes overly defensive, and the pressure just shatters his confidence. It's like he stops believing he can win before the first ball is even struck. All of this tension led to Section 5, the Wimbledon 2026 climax. This was the ultimate test. The 2026 Wimbledon Gentlemen's Singles Final. Jannik Sinner defeats Alexander Zverev 6-7, 7-6, 6-3, 6-4 to claim his fifth Grand Slam title. Even with Zverev bringing his absolute best tennis and actually stealing a tight first-set tiebreak, Sinner retained his title in a grueling four-set war. He proved once again that his relentless baseline game, his superior pace, and his impenetrable mental fortitude act as the ultimate kryptonite to Zverev's strategy. Even Zverev playing the match of his life just wasn't enough. But what happens next is what makes this rivalry so fascinating. Section 6, more than just rivals. During the trophy ceremony, Sinner grabbed the microphone and told Zverev, "You reached one of your goals, winning a Grand Slam. You made it happen in Paris. I know the goal for you is to become world number one. You're very, very close. We have to be very careful now." Instead of just celebrating his 10th consecutive win and his Wimbledon defense, Sinner delivered this incredibly classy runner-up speech. He lifted his rival up and genuinely acknowledged Zverev's recent French Open triumph. And Zverev's response was just as memorable. He laughed and said, "Yeah, first of all, Jannik, I don't really like you anymore. I've lost to you 9 times in a row." He showed once again why he's the best player in the world. He immediately returned the respect with a hilarious and highly self-aware joke about his miserable head-to-head record. It perfectly humanized all that cold, hard tactical data we explored earlier and showed incredible grace under immense disappointment. In the aftermath, the whole tennis world celebrated this heartwarming exchange. Sinner was praised globally as a humble, class act, while Zverev showcased immense sportsmanship and defeat. It proved that even beneath the most lopsided, mentally taxing, and frankly frustrating rivalries, deep mutual respect really thrives. It's just a great reminder of the human element behind all the statistics. So, as we wrap up this explainer, you really have to ask yourself, will Zverev ever break the Sinner curse, or is the world number one simply an unsolvable puzzle? Can Zverev actually adapt his deep court game, shorten those backswings, and finally break through this massive mental wall? Or are we just watching the permanent reign of an unstoppable champion who has perfectly decoded his biggest threat? It's a tactical mystery that will definitely keep us all watching closely. Thanks for tuning in, and keep exploring the amazing intricacies of the game.